Good morning guys, and welcome back to our third episode of Hungarian series. Today we traveled west and we are in small town of Heviz, and I want to explore probably the biggest attraction of the city, which is a thermal lake. Unfortunately, as we woke up, Natalia wasn't feeling so good, so she decided to stay in a van, and I will be exploring this unique lake just by my own, but I think it's really worth anyway, as it's actually the second largest thermal lake in the whole world after the Frying Pan Lake in New Zealand, where you cannot really swim because it's too hot. But here the temperature is really good, and it depends on the season, but it varies from 24 to 38 degrees Celsius. Today is March, so the temperature is expected to be lower. I already see a little bit of a fog around the lake, so it's definitely warm there. You can compare the area of the lake to the 6 or 7 football pitches, so it's quite big, and the whole area is closed and fenced. And in order to be able to swim inside the lake, you have to buy the tickets. And you can buy a 3-hour entry ticket or a full day pass, and additionally you can also go for saunas and all kinds of other procedures, but I've decided to go for the basic ticket. And let's see, there are 2 main entrances how you can get there, and I will just find one. I got inside really easily and fast. I just got the band to access the changing rooms, which are quite big ones, and there's not so many people right now, which I appreciate. And you can leave all that stuff here in the locker room. It feels basically like a swimming pool area with all the accessories needed. Honestly, it's so interesting to walk around here. I wasn't in the water yet, but it's amazing, the complex here, and also the fact that there are many buildings which are connected with the tunnels. Inside the lake, they are standing just on the pillars, and yeah, really just looking for the spot where I will dip inside. Everywhere there's so strong smell of the thermal water, which is sometimes a little bit can be annoying, but it's basically a healthy water. I'm amazed how this complex is really big, and there's a main part inside which is quite full of people, mainly older ones. And the nice thing is that you can enter the lake and still being surrounded by the building, so you don't get influenced by the cold air and still have the benefits of the thermal water. And here you can also enter it from the outside terrace, which looks like this. It's quite steep, and the water is really clear here. That's what I really like. And yeah, I'm going for a dive, so I'm going to enter it from the outside. And if you're out, the water feels warm. It's not hot or like a jacuzzi, but it's definitely not cold. And yeah, there are just few people swimming outside. They have the floating ring, so it's easier for them to stay above the water. I unfortunately couldn't rent one because I could only pay by cash, and I just ran out of Hungarian forints, so therefore I don't want to go too far. Apart from being a second largest thermal lake in the world, there are a few interesting facts about this lake. For example, like the water here replenish every 72 hours because the thermal stream is so strong, and it floats new fresh thermal water at the pace of 400 liters per second. And if you're swimming at some places around the lake, you can really feel like there's a little bit of a stream pushing you, And that's because, yeah, like if you take this amount of water that basically changes every 72 hours, that's quite impressive. And actually the whole city really benefits from this stream because there are so many thermal spas and hotels all around the city. But this is obviously the main attraction here. And I'm here for quite some time in the water, and it still feels quite warm, which is great because the ambient temperature is probably like 10 degrees Celsius, so it's not that warm outside, but in the water it feels really good. Like if you would be like moving around here, it would be completely doable to stay here for a longer period of time. And yeah, like once you get here, be sure to get the swimming rinks because then you can really chill in the water and chat with friends. That's the best combination, I would say. I changed my clothes and got a really long hot shower, which was actually needed. It was very comfortable. And before I leave, I wanted to check the outside of the lake, but still within the area. It's like a park where there are benches, fitness park with some equipment to do some weights, and also an access to the lake as well. And I can really imagine that during summer it's a complete different vibe here. Probably even better to visit during the summer, but for me it was also a very nice experience because it wasn't so crowded, and in the lake you really felt like you're almost alone. I would recommend you to going here if you're in Hungary and to do a half-day stop. I got so hungry while swimming in the lake, so I decided to go for a proper big lunch, and I went to the restaurant which is outside of the city center. It looks a little bit local. It's quite empty, but the food looks delicious. As a first course, I went for a garlic creamy soup with a cheese and croutons on the top, and as a second I've chosen the Cordon Bleu, which is a fried chicken stuffed with cheese and ham with fries. And I have to say, it looks so delicious. I cannot wait to taste it. And from this place I would like to also finish this episode. I hope you enjoyed the Heviz area with me, and see you next week, guys.